1, 2, 3. The sun is on the rise again. I'm in my tree stand. A little secret spot.
Yes.
That no one knows. Untouched by man's hand. Truly God's land. That's why it's gonna stay untold. Out of the corner of my eyes, it's time to let those arrows fly. What can I say? This is in my blood. It's something I can't explain. Adrenaline rush. When the one I want steps into the morning light, I'll be there, looking down the sights.
Hello everyone, I'm Nathan Harless.
And I'm PJ Collins. This is one of the most memorable hunts we have ever been on here at Backyard Outdoors.
This hunt took place January 2015. We took one of our dear friends, Richard Rohr from Paintsville, Kentucky, on a mobility impaired hunt at Jenny Wiley State Park.
Be sure to watch the episode all the way through, and you'll find that Richard fills both tags and the freezer as well on his first hunt ever.
I'm Richard Rohr from Johnson County, Kentucky. I'm going on a disability hunt at Jenny Wiley State Park. The reason why I get to go on this hunt is because I have a disability card called arthrogryposis, which limits my mobility from my neck down. Basically, the only thing that I can do from my neck down is drive my wheelchair. I've had this disability since birth, and I've always been an outdoors type person. I like going outdoors and fishing and hunting. I've always enjoyed that kind of stuff, but I've been limited because of my disability. I've not been able to go outdoors up the hills and hunt. I've not been able to get out on a bass boat and go fishing. But since technology has grown and society's grown and the way of social media has enabled things to happen, I was on Facebook one day and this thing popped up and showed me light. The light from Facebook. It showed me that this company called Be Adaptive created this trigger device that would shoot the gun for me. And I showed these friends of mine that are with the Backyard Outdoors, and they got interested and called the company and see what they could round up, and they ended up getting this device here that enables me to shoot the gun. And it was kind of short notice, so we got what we could get, but hopefully sometime in the future we'll be able to get better equipment that I can do completely a hunt, you know, with people with me, but I'll still be able to fully can do the hunt by myself. You know, I'll be able to control the gun, I'll be able to shoot the gun. It'd be just like I'd be on my own hunt with a bunch of buddies and we all go hunting. After I shot it practicing out here, it's just opened my eyes to know that there are things possible even though I do have limited mobility. I have done some research, and there's wheelchairs of all natures, of four-wheel drives to track drive chairs. There's even a wheelchair that's got a lawnmower on it. So I know with due time and people's help that I will be able to do such things as that. I do want to be a productive part of society, and I do want to enjoy the things that people do get to enjoy, such as hunting, fishing. You know, I do play video games. I'm as active as I can be. I volunteer my time to the community. I'm on a volunteer fire department. So with this, it's just going to allow me to do something that I like to do besides serving people. I can now enjoy something for myself, and I can't wait to go on this hunt. And I hope a master buck just comes right in my path.
And if a giant buck's what Richard's after, then what better way to practice than on a big old buck? So the guys got together in Mountain Marks Taxidermy Shop, rounded up a big box for us, and after a few artistic strokes from yours truly, Richard's buck was brought to life and ready for practice. If the last person need any practice, though, is Richard behind the gun. As you'll see in this next clip, he puts his first bullet dead center of the bullseye, and the next few aren't far from it.
You didn't put no big antlers on it.
I ain't done yet.
Hit it.
All right, Richard, he's up there.
Right through the center.
He hit it, literally, you could not get a better shot. Like he cut the middle of the black circle. That is like
You do that this weekend, you won't need another shot.
perfect shot you could possibly that
Yeah, I shoot every one of us with that one.
A few people I'd like to mention that's sponsored this hunt for me, Joe Bolton and Chad Penix and the boys from the Backyards Outdoors. Without these folks, I couldn't do this hunt. And next time you see me, you'll see me in a blind, and hopefully we'll have a big deer down.
Operating the camera, and we're just waiting to see what happens. Hopefully we'll get one on the ground today. 8 o'clock, if that. But just stay tuned, see what happens. It's going down. Stop it. Stop it.
It wasn't long before the deer come back, but as luck would have it, the eye scope was blocking the safety, and before we could get the eye scope adjusted, they smelled us and left as quick as they had appeared. So that concluded the first morning hunt. We gathered our gear and headed back to the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife office at Dewey Lake, where WYMT was already waiting to get an interview with Richard. He showed off his shooting skills a little bit by shooting in front of the cameras, but that would soon come to bite us in the butt later on in the hunt. Be sure to keep on watching and you'll see what I'm talking about. After Richard showed off in front of the news cameras, Nathan and I gathered the gear and we all headed back out for the evening hunt.
Back from lunch and we're waiting on them birds to come back by. We've seen those every day and hopefully we'll drop one. If not, we'll try again in the morning.
So that concluded the first morning hunt. The weather took a turn for the worse and it started raining pretty hard. We did have one doe come in right at last light, but it stayed over in the thicket and we never could get a shot at it. We gathered our gear, headed back to the van in anticipation of the next morning hunt.
It's 5:45, we're on our way to meet Richard. Well, I am. PJ's getting a late start this morning. Couldn't get out of bed. But going to get Richard and hopefully try to get a deer on the ground this morning. It's the last day of the mobility impaired hunt. It's got a little warm last night. Got it's 64 degrees right now. And throughout the day it's supposed to get colder. Big cold front pushing through, so hopefully we'll get the deer on their feet and moving. It poured the rain on out last night, so hopefully they'll be moving a little better this morning. But just stay tuned. See what happens.
Golf course this morning. We heard or seen
At around noon on the second morning of the hunt, we headed back to the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife to get some lunch, gather some thoughts. We hadn't seen a thing all day. Anticipation was starting to get the best of us, but we weren't going to let it get us down. We headed back out for that evening hunt with high hopes of Richard getting his first deer.
Sunday evening, last evening of the hunt, we're set up over the golf course. It's where Richard got drove for the second day. But it's just been horrible weather all day, and we've had some close encounters, but no luck. We can shoot a pretty long ways here, and there's been deer crossing here about every day. We're gonna sit here to the edge of dark and see what happens.
Winding down and light fading quick, Nathan and I decided to take matters into our own hands and increase our odds a little. We called my father, who lived nearby, and asked him to drive around the lake property and see if he could find some deer that we might be able to get Richard set up on. It wasn't long, Nathan's phone rang, he answered, and sure enough, it was Dad telling us he had spotted some does. We loaded the van in record time and headed for the deer.
Take him. Take her. I'm ready. Ready when you are.
After Richard shot the first doe, the other two stuck around a little too long. This is when we realized we had not put more ammo in the rifle after Richard shot for the news cameras. Luckily, Nathan found a bullet, threw it to me, and Richard was given an opportunity to fill his last tag. Be sure to keep your eyes on the deer to the right.
Take it, Richard. Got it. You're tagged out, baby.
Promise, both of them killed.
I was dead on.
I didn't see.
Both of them failed. Both of them
After
failed.
Richard shot the second doe, we couldn't quite believe what had just happened. Richard had tagged out during the last minutes of the hunt.
We were anxious to get on the hill and track these deer. PJ found the first one, and I found the second one shortly after. Words couldn't describe how excited we were for Richard. Let his expressions do that.
Well, Richard, you want to tell them what happened just now?
Well, we sitting here and two deers popped up and got them both.
It's the last minutes of the last day. Richard had two tags, a buck and a doe or two does. And
Last day of season, not even 30 minutes of light left.
not even that.
Barely
10 minutes of light left. I mean, it was just last shooting light, and we are just absolutely tickled to death. And we dropped the second one. The first one, I could see it well. Shot it in the shoulder. She ran off with her leg up, so I know she's done. So, man, it's been fun.
What a hunt.
What do you think, Richard?
Been a great weekend.
Had a good time with it.
Richard's first time hunting, and he's tagged out.
All right, we're tracking Richard's deer for him. We just found the first one. It's pitch black now, it's raining. I reviewed the video. The first one I knew was a good hit. She's laying right here. She just ran down the hill about 40 yards and crashed over. The second one Nathan thought was a hit, but she acted funny after the shot. It was a really difficult shot, especially for Richard. And it was kind of crazy anyway because everything was happening so fast. But he definitely got one, and that's all that matters. He got his first deer, baby. Whew. Here she is. If I don't fall down the hill, this is one steep hill. It's his first one.
Sitting here in the van waiting on the boys, and I just got word that they found both of them. Stay tuned, and we'll show you what they look like whenever we get them loaded up and back to the shop.
Richard said,
Just come down the road,
Richard
the door
said-
open.
Richard said, you can go a little faster, Dave. I trumped it.
I got to see your injuries here before we leave.
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
What is
Hey, hey, we want to see you here next year now, okay? Jeff killed him another this evening.
Did you?
We got him too. Got a dog. Where you guys were at, kill it. Yeah, this evening.
Get shot on it, dude? You're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
See y'all later. Y'all be safe.
Well, we're back at the shop. As you can see, we got both deer recovered. First one was excellent. The second one we didn't think was so good. Turned out it was. It was an excellent shot also. We got a button buck and a doe. And that concluded the weekend. We had a blast. Started out on Saturday when we seen a doe and it grunted and stuff at us quite a few times. Then that evening we had another little incident with a doe and still didn't get nothing, but we were still confident that we would get something the next day. So we went back all day, didn't see a thing. And right at the end, one of our teammates called us and said they'd spotted some deer, and so we hopped in the van and took off and see the final product. You know, I'd like to thank Joe Bolton, and I'd like to thank Chad Phoenix, and I'd like to thank the Backyard Outdoors for everything that everybody's done. Without them, I couldn't have done it. And as you see, as the final result, we got 2 deer. Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys, there you have it.
It's definitely one of my most favorite hunts of all time.
Yeah, the look on his face was just priceless.
Yeah, I'd love to see it after he's seen a deer for the first time.
Yeah, Richard was pretty tickled, but we definitely had our share of trial and errors throughout this hunt.
Like you oversleeping on the second hunt?
Hey, we got it done. We got it done.
Hey, you all be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. God bless.
What?
What, butt butt?
Yeah.
How about the one baby? First deer, buddy. You gotta get your first deer, man.
You like it?
I thought it was one piece of that.
Yeah, that's first deer, buddy.
Out of my